Well, staying in Washington, Barry Pavel is the vice president and director of the National Security Research Division at the RAND Corporation, a think tank. He joins me now live. Barry, great to have you on. President Biden says he gave the order on Wednesday to shoot the balloon down as soon as it was safe to do so. Republicans have been critical that it wasn't shot down sooner. Do you think there was a risk to U.S. security by allowing this balloon to fly for several days over the United States?
No, my sense is, but we'll learn more as things come out. But my sense is that certainly as the U.S. military was aware of this balloon and what its mission was before it entered the continental United States, there are ways for military bases, for military forces to tighten down security. For example, we know an eavesdropping balloon is over the base, no cell phone communications related to work, as just a very tactical example. And so I think between that type of defensive security, but also, from what I understand, there was jamming of the balloon's intelligence collection capabilities itself. My sense is this was handled, quite well, and no loss of life by any civilian getting killed if it was downed earlier, and no intelligence loss. In fact, I would add that I was told that there was actually some intelligence gain, that they were, the U.S. was gaining intelligence on this, on the balloon as it was going across the U.S. But we'll learn more soon, one hopes.
Yeah, and as Andy Rosejan told us, at least some of the wreckage has been retrieved. What do you think the U.S. can possibly learn from poring over the debris from this balloon?
Well, I mean, if it's intact, and, the hope was to bring it down as gently as possible, because you want to exploit the intelligence collection capabilities. That's the word that's used in the business. And you also want to see what they saw, learn what they learned. And that will help both with understanding Chinese operational priorities. What were the sort of targets? What were they focused on? How were they doing it? So also understanding Chinese intelligence collection and surveillance and reconnaissance capabilities. This could be a gold mine if it is retrieved intact. If not, something less. I do worry a bit about U.S.-China relations once this is all, displayed and offered to the public. It will look quite bad for the Chinese. That when it is revealed truly that this was an intelligence asset, not a weather balloon, and it's going to be hard for them to wiggle out of that one, and that's going to send relations further downward.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask you. China is playing this down, insisting it was a wayward weather balloon, but of course it's in the hands of the U.S. now, so we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. What kind of diplomatic mess has this created between the two countries at a time when relations are difficult already? We know the Secretary of State postponed his planned visit to Beijing. Do you think that this has greatly set back relations?
I think it's set back relations further. We'll see. I mean, I think there are now incentives for the Chinese to, make good a little bit and to come to the table meaningfully, which they haven't done across a wide range of issues. But this was the time, after the 20th Party Congress last November, Xi Jinping putting his officials in place next month. This was the time when China was opening up to the world, when China was going to engage more in the world and try to play nicely, despite having the same objectives that they've had for quite a while now. And so the purpose of the Blinken visit was to try to put guardrails on the relationship to minimize crises going astray and into greater damage. And so I think this will damage relations, but I think the parties continue to retain an interest in putting things back on track, and hopefully this will motivate the Chinese to do just that in a more meaningful way than they have done in a very long time.
All right, Barry Pavel in Washington, D.C., thank you.
My pleasure.